You want to grow your wealth, but so many of us, you get to a point where you've got some savings and then you start getting frightened, because there's nothing more frightening than having some money that you don't know what to do with. This is Tonight. I'm Bruce Whitfield. Tonight, we find out how you can grow and continue to grow your wealth. Joining me is Anne Wilson, the wealth chef, and David Kopp, who's the Financial Planning Institute's head of membership and corporate. So corporate, in fact, even his collars are branded. Show us the collar, David. Show us the collar. There we go. Yeah. Even got an FBI brand on it. That's looking a little bit desperate, don't you think, Anne Wilson? Yeah, and his tie matches the branding on the thing. It's very, very desperate. But nice to see you, David.
Thank you.
And nice to see you as well. How are your book sales going? You've written the book, The Wealth Chef.
They're going fantastically, and also just the feedback from people starting to discover how to get money working for them harder. And that's what it's all about, and why we're here talking about it tonight.
So many of us, we leave school, we go into university. You studied engineering, you didn't have a clue about money. Yeah. You ended up in your 30s kind of thinking, hold on a second, I need to sort this stuff out. Lots of perfectly well-educated people forget about the power of this marvelous stuff, this paper and the coins.
Absolutely, and so much of our education and even work and side is all, how do we upskill ourselves, how do we work harder to earn this money? All that focuses on earning it. But that key part of, well, what the hell do we do with it once we've earned it, to keep some of it in our life, to get it working for us, so that at some point we can stop all this earning money, is something that's just not taught about and often not thought about until often time's starting to run out and then people starting to catch up. And this is this key side. How do we, once we've done all that earning, how do we get the real value from it?
David, why are we so rubbish at teaching about money?
It's something, I think there's a history. It's not taught in schools. It almost seems to be, and remember, most of what we learn about money is from our parents. Okay? And like Anne says, they were taught how to earn money, maybe not how to spend money, or
and
spend
how
it
to
wisely.
invest it.
Yeah, and how to invest it. I mean, I learned one simple truth about creating wealth, and it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And if we can use that, then that's the first step.
I mean, you're an international woman of mystery, Anne Wilson. You've seen the world many times over, and in many cases you've gone back to places that you like. You've never cheated yourself. You've never robbed yourself. You've never sort of missed out on an opportunity. Yet you've stayed true to one basic principle, and that is pay yourself first.
And this is so fundamental, because I think so many people also think, oh, investing or saving is about deprivation, what we can't do. And it shuts down this possibility that there is an and, that you can actually look after your financial well-being, feel supported by it, get that growing, and do the things you want. And this paying yourself first kicks off so many things, not just the principle that you're allowed to keep some of your money and then get it working for you. But I think it also kicks off your creativity, your potential. Instead of going, well, I'll see if there's anything left over at the end, and there never is, it goes deeper, because you're also then telling yourself that you don't believe you've got the potential to have and create what you want, because everything, your time, your energy is all, well, I'll feed myself the scraps at the end. So I think if you set that principle of going, you value your dreams, you value your life enough to put some of your hard-earned money towards it, and then go, okay, so with the rest, how do I live the juiciest life possible?
South Africa, we have a disease. The disease is short-termism. It's consumption. Joburg is a mining town. It always has been a mining town. We never know where the next seam, the gold seam, is going to come from. So we live hard, we live fast, we have a great life, up until a point where you hit your 40s and suddenly you go, that was fun. But there's nothing to show for it other than some really embarrassing photographs. Why are we like that, David?
I think one thing that we lack with that is, there's that saying which says, if you don't know where you're going, any road will lead you there. The idea that people miss is, let me set my goals. Okay? Let me set my short-term goals. Let me set my medium-term goals.
If I can't see beyond next year, if I've got such, my mindset is so short-term, I don't know whether NUMSA is going to be the next government of South Africa. I better enjoy it while it lasts. I don't know whether or not Nhlanhla is going to give a wealth tax in February next year. I better spend it before he gets hold of it. We live in this really odd twilight zone, this twilight reality. We need to try and look through it.
And that's where a certified financial planner professional can help you.
And that's where everybody falls asleep mostly, Anne. And but that's why people, I mean, no disrespect, you guys do a wonderful job and you're really important. But it's boring.
And you cannot outsource your financial well-being. Absolutely, there's financial planners, others, but you've got to own it. But it comes to this key part. You've got to first believe that there is a future and resurrect those dreams. Because I think so. I certainly know when I went,
why have
I
a
got
dream?
to a
What's a
point.
reality now, Anne?
But I think it's part of having the balance between the both, that you can have both, that it's not either or. And I think we've got to get away from this mindset that it isn't either or.
How do we get 25-year-olds to save a third of everything they earn?
Well, firstly, I don't think it has to be a third, because if you're 25, you've still got this
somebody who's
one
done
thing
it.
called time. Absolutely.
I know, but if you're earning, say, 100,000 rand a year, is it possible to save 25% of that, to invest 25%?
Completely possible. And in fact, I challenge people to get to a point where wealth plan that their day-to-day living is no more than 55% of what they're bringing in, so that they're also factoring some fun money and doing that stuff. They pay yourself first. And then the difference between saving and investing, because they're fundamentally different, but a lot of people don't understand the difference.
Absolutely. But do financial planners, are they the fun police? Is that the problem with going to see a financial planner?
I think sometimes it can be, and I think sometimes, certainly for me on my journey, because I'm not a financial planner, but I think it's a huge role for them, is firstly that reigniting what do I really want from my money? What do I want from my life? What are those adventures? What are those things that I want to do? Because then it gives you a why. If you've got a big enough why, then almost any how will go. But if you don't have that why, then it is just somebody nagging you.
Yeah. Is that the problem with financial planning then?
It's the problem with the perception of financial planning. I think the reality is, and what you need to realize when you work with a financial planner, you've really got to match someone who matches your personality and can work with you. People think financial planning
I'm
is
not trusting anybody with my personality. You must be mad.
Okay, maybe not you, Bruce.
Okay.
But what you've got to understand, financial planning is not about money. Okay? It is about you as a person.
Yeah.
It's about your dreams, your goals. Okay, and yeah, it just so happens that you may need some money to do those things. And I think if people focus financial planning from that aspect, and we do have really good financial planners who work with you as a person, and sometimes money only comes up in the third or fourth meeting. If the financial planner doesn't understand you, how are they really going to help you reach your goals and dreams? Like Anne says, you as a person has to own it yourself. So if you've got a financial planner who's sitting in your ear telling you you've got to do this, you've got to invest a third of your money, using all those rule of thumb sort of tips, but it doesn't sit well with you, you're not going to do it. You're not going to implement it. But if a financial planner understands you as a person, they'll be able to help guide you. And if you can't take responsibility for yourself, they can at least help you take some responsibility.
And no, it's a very important point, that. I mean, it is about owning the issue, the fact that you may live to 75, you may live to 85, and you may live to be 100, and you hope that you don't run out of money. 99% of us will, if we happen to make it that far. Huh?
And, hope is great if you're shipwrecked at sea. But it's a pretty disastrous financial plan. And this, breaks my heart. I get emails almost daily of just people who've just hoped maybe next year they'll earn more money or somehow it will come together. And the sad part is it's not complicated, but so often these simple things we overlook.
Like?
And it's these simple
Give me three simple things.
So the simple thing is just committing to amount that you're going to pay yourself first. And
how big must that amount be?
I think the problem is sometimes we say that X amount. So if we go, oh my God, it's got to be 33%. I'm never going to get there. It's these wealthy habits we create rather than the fixed amount as the first point. It's like going to the gym for the first time, even if you can do 2 crunchies. It's pitching up.
I can do 2 crunchies, not crunches. Though.
Yeah, there we go. Absolutely, yeah. So you can start investing from 300 Rand a month in an index tracker, and it's just that
it's forming a habit and seeing the magic of what the habit produces.
That's
David.
it.
And suddenly, that 300 Rand a month, which is 3,600 Rand a year, by the end of year one in a good market, is suddenly 5,000 Rand. And that didn't take any effort, did it?
In my mind, it's even simpler than that. I mean, one thing that I start is every night when I get home, I empty the change out of my pocket, and you put it in a tub. And at the end of the month, surprisingly, you've actually got quite a lot of money in there. And we used to do that and say, well, instead of going out for dinners, and I wasn't depriving myself, empty my change, end of the month, I take that money and treat myself. And it is. It's
Restaurants must
changing
love
your
you.
habits.
Here we go. I'm paying the bill. Yes. all the
One
coins.
rand man.
Petrol attendants really love it when you pay them with change. So.
Absolutely. But it's about forming those habits and actually understanding the power of compounding, the power of growth, and ultimately the biggest rule of all, the power of time. That's something you alluded to
And
earlier.
then you realize it's actually pretty sexy. And that, I love to go shopping, except now I go shopping for stuff that stays in my life and works for me. And when you can change that mindset about that side. And I think a second key one is just get intimate with your money. You can't have a relationship if money wants to work for you, but if you completely ignore it, if you don't know what's happening, and just that regular review of what's going out.
Yeah.
Just last week, client was sharing with me, started getting, doing his income statement, and he had old debit orders that he had forgotten about from 3-4 years ago, just because it was something he didn't look at. And then you start seeing there is a little bit more. So it's just these wealthy habits.
Do you hold any stead in these tools, these online tools, for example, that show you where your money is being spent, David? I mean, it lets you look back and go, oh my goodness me, I spent 2,000 rand on cappuccino last month.
Yeah, most definitely. I think your budget is really your most important tool that you've got in your financial plan, because if you don't know where your money's going, you don't know what you're spending on it. And quite often, I use the example Friday night. You go to the ATM, you draw your 2,000 rand, you go have a couple of drinks, you wake up Saturday morning and your wallet's empty. Okay, so where did that 2,000 rand go and what did it actually get you? So tracking your spend is one of the most important steps that you can do. And that can help you change habits. I mean, I did it. I found out I was spending 30 rand a day on a pie and a Coke. And yeah, it meant that I maybe had to go to gym because it was there. And when you start adding that up, 30 rand a day, 5 days a week, 150 rand, 600 rand a month, all of a sudden, okay, I still have a pie and a Coke every now and again, but I'm not doing it every day.
Yeah.
And that frees up money.
It's those reality checks. How many high earners come through the FPI doors going, I'm earning 100,000 rand, 150,000, 200,000 rand a month, and there's nothing?
It happens. It's not a problem of people not having enough money, like I say. It's not keeping enough money. And it's that phenomenon. If I look back when I started earning money, I was 11 years old delivering newspapers. I was earning 100 rand a week. And that was quite a comfortable living for me. And as it grows, when my wife and I first moved in together, we were earning 2,000 rand a month and we were making it. Okay, yes, there's inflation and the cost of things go up. But the problem is the more you earn, instead of saving more and paying yourself first, you tend to increase your spending first on things that don't really matter to you.
At that point,
that's the problem.
We must leave it. I thank you very much for both coming in. Anne Wilson, the writer of the book, The Wealth Chef. She is the Wealth Chef. And David Kopp, who is the Financial Planning Institute's Head of Membership and Corporate, with the logo on the collar. I hope you noticed. Thanks for watching. There'll be more tonight, tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.